Champions League final thoughts.
Absolute shit show.
Yeah.
It's
Waste
I
the
of a
think
first
final.
absurd final ever.
Yeah.
I think if not for PSG's beautiful display of football, this probably would have been on par with United versus Spurs horrible Europa League final.
Yeah.
So
But
horrible.
interestingly, I think this in 7 years so running, there have been just like so one team scoring. So it's been like zero on the other end, which is also an interesting fact.
Oh, I didn't know that actually. Yeah. That's
Wait,
nice. But yeah, come on,
really?
man. 5-0. This is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that on Instagram, so hopefully that is but yeah. Which is where I get all
Yeah,
my news
dude.
from.
Yeah, dude. I don't remember. Yeah, PSG, the last time they were in the finals against Bayern, also they didn't score.
It was also
Liverpool
all
lost
1
1-0.
nils.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them are 1-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
City
so
1-0.
Liverpool
Liverpool.
2-0 Tottenham, so Real Madrid 1-0 against Liverpool.
Liverpool.
All of them
Yeah.
were yeah. So anyway, you
See,
you score, you win basically. That's the mantra of like Champions League final.
At the start of the game, the commentator was telling that like most of the finals were like whoever has scored the first, they went on to win the game. And then PSG scored
which was the
two
exception?
10 minutes, yes.
Which one was the exception?
No, I don't think there was an exception. Like 9 years in a row, last 9 Champions League finals,
Oh, okay.
the one to score first have gone on to win the game. Yeah.
But yeah, I think let's start with Inter. Like, what do you guys think of how Inter started off?
I don't think they ever showed up, right? So this is not the same team that played against Barca in any manner of form. This was so slow. I think they were rested. The whole team was rested for the game before. And yeah, they didn't have anything to show as an excuse to not show up today. The occasion was probably one of the biggest one, particularly after losing out to City a couple of years ago. I genuinely thought that they'd come out with like proper tactics. They did nothing. They went right into PSG's hands and they just let PSG play all the way and they outplayed them out of the park. Yeah.
I don't fully understand the tactics also. You have like a Serbian centre back, you're playing three at the back, five in midfield, but your only option is to lob from whatever your defenders. Like Jan Sommer would pass it to one defender and then he would lob it to Marcus Thuram, who would then try to play off against Lautaro Martinez, which was too easy for PSG to deal with. Like I
Oh,
just didn't understand why the hell do you have a five-man midfield when you're not using them in transition?
they
Like it didn't
actually
make no sense.
went to that late. They started to play from the back. You cannot
First
survive
15 minutes,
PSG's
yeah.
press. Yes, I was like, dude, just throw the ball out there. Hope Thuram gets hold of it. And their most successful attacks are the ones that they won the corners with. Were those like they just literally lobbed the ball over either Lautaro
That's what
or
I'm saying. But
Thuram?
again,
Yeah.
you're expecting too much out of Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez to do that,
Yes.
right? Like, and
Yeah.
Dimarco on the left was absolutely horrendous yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the game, man. Like, I just did
Maybe
not
the
see what was happening.
the only thing I could think about is to maybe catch off guard because like always Hakimi used to be like way up in the attack, maybe to catch him off guard. But I think like with his pace, he was coming back like too fast and
Yeah.
two people on
Hey,
like Thuram all the time.
that bugger, Hakimi has scored in the final. He scored in the semi-final. You think he scored in the quarter-final?
Yep.
What is that, dude, for a right back?
That's crazy. I think even Donnarumma would have been faster than most of the Inter players on that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I
It was
felt like
old
everything that-
men against young boys. That's what it was.
Sorry, don't call them boys anymore, please. Like
Yeah,
I think
Young.
that we have to talk a bit about that narrative that PSG won this like Champions League with just boys.
No.
Hey, yeah,
It's
dude,
not. It's
that's
not.
all bullshit.
No, that's not what I'm saying, right? So they were faster. They looked like they were up
Hungrier.
for it. Until 20th minute or something, Dembele was still closing down on Sommer. Whenever he was trying to take that shot, it just didn't. From first minute to all the way till the end of the game, Dembele never gave up in pressing the keeper. It's always there.
Yeah, so I
was
think
nuts.
from a final standpoint, nothing much to talk about. I guess like final, what do you call it, domination. What do you guys think of the overall tournament though? Like this is the first time of the new tournament format. I have like one thought. Will one of you guys go first?
I actually like this format, dude. It somehow I still don't understand who plays who and who play like how those teams match up in the group stages. But I thought it was a lot more open compared to the previous years, where you didn't really expect to see teams like PSG and Man City and all fight to stay in the tournament, right? Like typically when it's that group stages, typically those teams come first or second in the group stage and then they progress through. I felt this was much better. You got to play a lot more teams. There were a lot more games that were interesting. I enjoyed this year, dude. Like more than most years, I've enjoyed this year in terms of Champions League football.
And it's got nothing to do with Arsenal reaching semi-finals.
It had no. Honestly,
I'm
it
just
had
kidding.
nothing
I'm
to do
just
with it.
kidding.
No, but even then, right? Like, so think about it. Like, just going back to your point, right? Like,
Yeah.
Arsenal, however bad we were, we would still be in the top two most years
Yeah.
when we played the Champions League, right? Even though we were absolute shit and we were not going to go anywhere in that tournament, we would go. We would be top two in the group stage because we'd beat some Karabag and bullshit teams to get through and then get hammered by Bayern Munich in quarterfinals or Barcelona, right? So this year it actually showed that you need to be better at it as a team across playing different teams, different league, like teams from different leagues in
8
different
different, yeah.
places, right? So it was a lot more interesting.
Yeah. For me, I think the format was so good, but I think one fact that I could see is this format is kind of like diluting the other two tournaments, like so Europa League and there's a Conference League. You have the top 36 teams in the Champions League, the next 36 teams in the Europa League, and then from like 73rd to 108 in the Conference League, and you have someone like Chelsea saying, "Hey, we are champions of Europe after like winning that like tournament." Those sort of things is probably what I was not too.
But Chelsea were already
keen
there
about.
in conference, na, because of last season's league standing.
Yeah, no,
Why
I
don't
think
they went
so.
down?
This year, right? I think those other two, the Conference League and the Europa League, get like super diluted because of this format.
Okay,
I guess.
I see. Yeah.
What are the odds that they would pull up another random competition? They would probably expand this Super Cup competition instead of playing UCL versus UL winner. What they're going to do is bring in fourth team from somewhere, either the runner-up from the UCL competition, play the four teams like the UCL winner, runner-up, UEL winner, Conference League winner, and then expand the competition, put it in US or Dubai, and then make it another competition. Yeah.
Possible. And then laud it as like a legitimate trophy that you win.
Yeah, I mean it's UFA trophy, yeah. So
No,
Hey, actually,
yeah,
preseason for any player.
yeah.
That's
It's,
about
it's
it.
not there
This is
anyway
only
at this
pre-season.
point. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, but I have a question now. So Chelsea qualified for Champions League through the league standings this year, but they also won Conference League, which gives them qualification to Europa League.
Yeah.
So because they play in Champions League, does Betis play in Europa League now as runners-up?
I don't.
Betis
know.
already are playing Europa League because they already qualified through the league table. Yeah.
Okay, then my question is moot. Okay.
Yeah. No, the point is what happens to the, I mean, yeah.
For me, I think. Sorry.
So wait, does EPL lose out a team from, no, they don't lose out on any team from EPL for Europa League then? Because Chelsea is like already qualifying to the
For
Europa
Champions
League.
League,
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Champions League, yeah.
You're right.
One other thing
Betis.
of this format for me was that home and away in the group stages. How much do you think that was
We didn't play home and away, na?
missed and
We did.
or not
I mean-
missed? No.
I mean,
in
no.
this year, right? In this year, every team just played like one leg, right?
Yeah.
So home and away, so leg. I know a lot of passionate Arsenal TV fans were talking about not having that, but
What do you mean not having that? I didn't understand.
No, because when we lost to Inter,
yeah. So
Arsenal
last year
TV
you
was
had the
complaining.
home and away, right?
Yeah, okay. So instead of playing the same team twice, you're playing
Yeah.
a different team away, different team home. So it's still 8 games, 4 home, 4 away. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it matters, dude.
yeah, it's okay. My only issue was that it is a lot more forgiving if you don't pull up into the Champions League until December, I guess. Even then, you can still have a good season. PSG is like the living proof at this point. PSG were quite bad in the beginning of the season.
Struggling in
On
the
any regular season, maybe they would not have faced so many difficult teams as well, and probably made it to the round of 16. Maybe you never know. But yeah, the league phase form was just way too bad. Real Madrid, Manchester City, PSG, among these big teams, they had very poor form in the beginning of the season, and this gave them a much better way. Okay, yeah, I can chill out. I don't have to worry about winning Champions
Beat the
League
champions.
games. Yeah, I'm the beginning, so I can still figure it out. And then, as long as I'm not in the bottom 8 where it's completely eliminated, I'll play another extra 2 games. If I have a squad as big as PSG's, and if I have such an easy league where I can literally rest all my 11 players, how does that matter anyway? Yeah, that's my issue with the league. So there's the stakes are not actually that high for teams that have like this larger squad and like can actually push through these things. As like for example,
Yeah.
Liverpool had like much smaller squad and they had to play in Premier League and had to keep it up there. So it's very very difficult to keep up. And even then they had to go play PSG despite finishing first, right? So yeah, there are certain things which are kind of, I wouldn't say unfair, but it's easily forgiving for teams who are picking up the form late in the season rather than being consistent throughout the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One lesson for
Counterpoint to
Liverpool:
that was
don't finish
City.
first in the competition.
No.
Actually, I don't think
Win
that's
all
true.
the games. Win all the games and play every single game to win. That's what you should have done, and you would not have had a PSG playing against you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you had beaten PSV, there's no way PSG could have been tied up against you guys.
Yes, it would have been a completely different round of. Sorry, the what is that round of 32 or the playoff fixtures? They would have been completely different. Yes.
So we had to win 8 out of 8 to avoid PSG. Is that what you're
It's
saying?
just bad luck. Dude.
yes.
It's just bad luck.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
But imagine, just imagine PSG, right? Like, assuming Arsenal had beaten them, right? Their complaint would have been, why the fuck am I playing all English league teams? Like, why am I not playing other
Yes.
countries?
yes.
So it's just bad luck, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, kudos to PSG, man. They were
Nothing.
excellent.
Nothing. On the
Yeah, I
day,
mean,
yes.
Yeah, on the day they were pretty good,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
I
beat
agree.
pretty much all big English teams on their way to the Champions
All
League
English teams.
final. I mean, every single team that's there in the Champions League, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
that? Yes,
They did,
it's
they
crazy.
did beat everyone. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Who did they
they
face
did
in the
miss
round of
the
round of
playoff. Yeah, don't ask.
beat City, right?
Brest.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Brest. They
Oh,
won
yeah,
10-0 on aggregate. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Playing
probably
the-
the only easy one, but everything else I think was.
And guess what? They played
fought.
Brest I think thrice in a row because they had a league game
League
against
game
them.
also with them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They
Sandwich
won
between
there
those two
also.
legs. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I actually don't think Brest was their easiest game. I think Inter Milan was their easiest game. This was
Yes.
useless.
Yeah.
It was so sad, man. But again, it's a state-owned club with no competition in the league. 100% rest for every player. It was madness, dude. Although I'm happy to see Luis Enrique win it, oh my god, it annoys me that he could spend how much ever money he wanted with no repercussions on wrong transfers and still be like, yeah, cool. Doesn't really matter to me. I'll go do what I want.
I mean, I think you guys were quick to point out this is not a team of young boys or something like that. There are like a couple of youngsters in there like Desiree Doué and the other guy who scored and broke Desiree Doué's record of like the youngest Champions League final scorer at the last goal, the fifth goal. I forgot his name. So all these young players are there, but they saw that there is a need for a player in the left wing because Barca has been not so clutch. You've seen that even in the final, right? So they went and bought Quara for 70 million, something like that, in the January transfer window. So
Yeah.
they had that opportunity and they had that flexibility financially to fill the gap whenever they want, and they have that superiority in no big player is ever going to leave me because I'm going to pay them shitloads of money. They're always going to win the league. They're always going to go deep into the Champions League. So they have a good amount of security and the young players at this point. So they were smart. I would give that. Like Luis Ocampos and Enrique did not go after the bling, as they said. They were smart enough to invest in the right players, and yes,
What do you
they
mean
did it
not
very
go
well.
Wait, one second. What do you mean they didn't go after Blink? They literally bought players that they thought would fit their system, decided
Yes.
they don't, and then kicked them out. Like, who buys a striker for 95 million and 16 months later sends him off to Juventus on loan without any repercussion? Who buys
Actually, I actually
Randall
forgot
Colin.
that
Polo.
even
What did
Gonzalo
you-
Ramos. Gonzalo Ramos is also there.
was 75 million pounds. Bucker's coming off the bench in the last 7 minutes. It's not like he's injured or something.
Sure,
He just
yes.
doesn't fit the system. That's $165 million, 165 million pounds in just two players that you just decided you don't need. Still went and bought Kvaratskhelia on the left. You bought Dembele for 50 million on the right. You still do whatever the hell you want. Doesn't really matter. And this whole narrative that you say, oh, I bought young French players. No, Desiree Doué was 64 million pounds, man. That's not small for a bloody 18 or 19-year-old.
Wait, I don't think he was 64 million or something.
Something
I
like
remember
that.
him being somewhere around 35-40. Yes.
Desiree
Yeah.
Doué. I'm pretty sure he was like 60.
I am staring at the tweet that Shravan sent us. I don't think I can add as fast as I can. 70, 40, 40, 40, 40, 70. There are some 3, 4, 70 million. There are 3, 40 million, and there is 2, 50 million.
No, so-
I'm reading this
My
right.
point-
So from May 7, 2023 till today, they have spent a total of 665 million euros.
God damn it.
921,587 euros. 660 million euros on 20 players in 2 years. 2 years. And this is a well-assembled, well-thought-out, non-blink squad, really?
This is
squad.
yes.
Squad.
No, I disagree that this is a blink squad. They spent a lot of money on players who are not blink. That's my point. Like
I mean,
on a
it depends.
regular season, like
It's not-
imagine. No,
Maybe
So
it's not the Real Madrid Galacticos
Dude,
where like everyone is a
Exactly,
star
okay.
or something.
in,
Like,
Yeah.
in a market where Luis Diaz is 85 million as per Liverpool,
that is
Kvara
as
was
per
Kvara
Barcelona,
was
not
Hey,
Liverpool.
hey, just because
Kvara was
someone
bought
asked
for
doesn't.
70. Kvara was bought for
Yes,
70.
you also understand that
Imagine
Serie A needs
no,
money.
that all keep that
You
aside,
remove
right?
English tax and all, dude. And
Yes,
just
that's
because
what I'm
Liverpool
saying.
has
So
85, you're not going to pay, right?
everybody works in the same market, and the whole reason market is being so inflated is PSG buying Neymar for 222 million, and then Barca buying all kinds of bullshit transfers. So it is all
Talking about
interlinked.
that. No, talking about that. They literally bought two players, the two highest transfer fee players in the world, had to get rid of them.
Rid of
Only
them.
then when only then the Champions League. That was insane, man.
That's some like 350 million or something, right? Both those
Yeah,
players together.
yeah. Plus, forget the wages, Amma. Imagine what wages they were on.
But then,
Yeah. Even then, even now they are the highest wage team, right? In
Yeah,
Europe.
Yeah.
PSG
Oh, yeah.
PSG will never go through like FFP, right? Because they'll have all the
No, they do. They did, and they were
all the revenue.
banned from transfer windows. They were banned from Champions Leagues for the same reason. Yes,
When was
Hey,
it was a long time ago. Yeah,
that whole league is sponsored by McDonald's, man. Please. They have
Uber
no
Eats.
repercussions. Oh, no, now it's McDonald's. It's not Uber Eats anymore. Yeah, it's McDonald's League One. Yeah, so they and all don't have repercussions for anything. They do whatever they want.
yeah.
Fair.
Fair.
I don't know, man. Football lost, man, yesterday. I was just bummed.
Hey, that
Hey, come on.
You
No,
have
this nonsense needs to be stopped. Okay,
What do you mean?
screw all this stuff aside, right? Take the things off the field things aside for now. So that was a beautiful spectacle. That the football was
I
good.
agree with you.
The tactics
I
from
agree with
Luis
you.
Enrique were on point, and he was able to encourage a team who has always had this PTSD of dropping down at the biggest moment in history, and they just didn't. They played it like some other game. Like they didn't
Bro,
actually care. It was Inter Milan. Yeah.
Avinash and me had gone. We would have also won the game yesterday, dude. It was that bad. He was
It
just
was
that
bad.
pathetic.
I understand all that, but the thing is
Avinash
that
would have had 6 goals himself. What
I-
is this?
from defense.
it is not just this game, right? So even the game when they lost against Liverpool at home, they were the much better team.
Yeah, no,
So
I
they
agree
showed
with
that they know their strengths
think-
and they played 100% to that. Yeah.
So I don't think anyone is saying like PSG played bad
Badly
or
and
anything like that. But I think so. This is like modern football, bros. Like I think you need to spend on a squad consistently every transfer window. Keep it as strong as possible because so now everyone in so Europe is up against this kind of a squad. Like PSG as a squad which is 600 million in, right? Arsenal needs to spend, Barcelona needs to spend, Liverpool, everybody around Man City needs to spend to get there.
Yeah.
The club that won't spend can't like consist like so competing in Europe. That's what it is.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that doom scenario so much. Like even when City won the treble, everybody was like, okay, this team is already complete. They're gonna buy more people and they're gonna be stronger or something like that. What happened to them? It's not the same thing, right? You will probably see the best of the team after they assemble some team, but just because you spent money, it's difficult to stay consistent. Yes, you may have some success. You will have more success than most people, but you will always be taken down by some other team. Even the
dude.
weirdest luck will happen. Yeah.
I think for Man City is probably not the right example. They had like that so big Rodri injury, and we know Rodri's Man City. It's not even Pep Guardiola.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Let's say imagine a Vitinha's long-term injury or even Donnarumma's long-term injury or a Dembele long-term injury. So things will change, right? So it's not that okay, they will forever have this success just because they have all this money. It's not going to happen like okay, this team has won and showed that this is the best team ever. They are going to dominate for the next 5-6 years or something. It should not happen like that.
No,
The
no.
game
I think what
automatically
he's trying to
corrects
say-
itself. Yes.
I think what Avinash was trying to say is your probability of winning becomes much higher only if you spend. If you don't spend, you're
100%,
guaranteed
yes.
not to win anything.
And spend
Right?
consistently, like window
Yeah.
after window. Yeah.
Now see how much talent a club like PSG can attract, right? Easily, my focus is on Champions League. I have some really great players there, and they're not even old. They're not like 34-year-old Ramos or something. I
Youngest
have
squad,
21
25-year-old.
Yeah. So look at that. You are literally walking into a team that says, "Boss, I'm going to play with world-class players at least for the next 3-4 years." How many clubs in the world can say that?
Yeah.
You can't. So the sustained success might come from this type of states sponsoring your entire league and your entire club spending recklessly.
That's not what I'm saying. So here we are comparing like Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. Like we'll take Arsenal out for now. Them winning Premier League is very very good season. PSG not winning Champions League is a very very bad season. because they are by default a winner in in Liga and all the domestic competitions because they're so far ahead. It just doesn't matter anymore. Any season they don't win the Champions League or come to the final, we can definitely consider that as a absolute failure for them. But that's not the
They've
case with
had
the rest of
failure
the
for
teams,
last
right?
11 years.
Yes, they have. The only thing they were trying to win was the Champions League because the
Yeah, I
rest of them
agree.
are just by default for them, right? So that's what I'm saying. So next year, you can't say that they're going to win Champions League again like 3 times in a row. It's just not going to happen.
I think not winning Champions League, I'll go back to that Neymar, Mbappe, Messi.
Yep.
Bro, are you serious?
Yep.
But anyway, I think we can move on from CL. Should we go into... I want to talk Conference League first. And my simple take is we should abolish this tournament. Like, what is the use of this tournament? I don't understand.
No, I think you're right? Like this tournament was created to make money for UEFA. Like that is guaranteed, right? But it also, I thought it was good because some of the lower placed teams, like teams that are 73rd to 108th in world football, have an opportunity to make some money, right? I felt that was really nice. But to your point, if you dilute it with stronger squads that fall in from, like the
Premier
Champions
League, La
to,
Liga.
whatever, right? Don't do that, na. Keep it for lower coefficient countries which don't really get a lot of spots for Champions League.
Yeah.
Like, let them play it, let them win it. Like, what is the point of Chelsea winning that? It means nothing to that team.
Exactly. Yeah.
They have one sad history that says, "Oh, I am the only club that has won all 3 UEFA tournaments." No, you
It's
won
not
it
even a
because you were that
flex.
bad.
Yeah, it's not even
flex.
exactly.
You were that terrible. That's why you were there.
You
in
have
the first place.
gone from Champions League to Conference League. Like, try to
Exactly.
understand that.
I saw Chelsea fans on X saying that, yeah, Barcelona can never do this. It's like, yes, we don't want to.
Yeah, no one wants to. I don't know why this is a
For
flex.
me, best offense I took was when they were champions of Europe, Chelsea. What the fuck? Like, how the fuck is this champions of Europe? Dude?
Talking of flex, did you see how sad Tottenham were? So after they won the Europa League, they had the last game of the season, I think, against Brighton, right?
Yeah, they lost.
And they lost. And the admin on X said, "Oh, the Europa League holders have been beaten." I'm like, what the fuck? Just say we lost at home. That's it. What do you mean the Europa League holders are beaten?
Yeah. But anyway,
sad.
coming back to Conference League, I think so. Shravan, your point, right? Like, I don't think an EPL team, I think top 8 is way higher than the 73rd to 108th in this thing. You can't have them enter that like competition and have them like win it all, right? Which is crazy. So maybe like the top 4 maybe have to go like so La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Premier League, and then the others can compete for it. Then it's some sort of like a meaningful competition, I feel. But
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean, they set the rules pretty appropriately, saying that, okay, people
that's what I was
finishing in
thinking.
these spots. Occasionally, you'll end up with these weird teams and finishing up like lower spots because they had a bad season. And then just to overcome their bad season result, they're going to go overspend in the market and become over bloated and play in these competitions where it's just you cannot compete with them anyway. Like
No,
Chelsea could have played with their own second team and it would have been a much more like, quality on this in terms of the money, whatever the player value is at that point. But had what, like Real Betis spent 60 million or something over the past 5 years, and Chelsea spent like
that's
some
crazy.
10x that or something like. Because Real Betis
last year.
it's very difficult for teams like that to get money that much, right? La Liga earns much less money than Premier League earns by default, and then most of the money is because the viewership directly is related to Barca and Real Madrid. They take the majority of the portion, like some 40 to 50% is gone between these two because they bring in the most viewers, and then that model consistently rewards less and less. And La Liga's financial regulations are very handicapping.
yeah.
You cannot. PL is much more relaxed and they're more reactive than proactive. La Liga is more proactive. They will not let you register until you show the profits on the book. It just does not happen. While Premier League, do whatever you want. I'm going to come back to you. If I find some issues, I'm going to give you some fine, like, slap on the wrist, whatever the way we want. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Or if you want, just appeal it. We will hold it for like 1 year, do everything that you want in that 1 year, and then we will like unlock.
What is
And say that
happening
the
with
statute
Man
of
City?
limitation is over. Yes.
Yeah.
But what is happening with Man City's appeal, man? They were supposed to have a verdict before December. It's the end of the season.
I have
think
stopped
it's-
following that. I think it's all
yeah.
done.
That's the whole
Like
point.
he's saying they are spending like 200 million in like
Even
January.
January window there.
Yeah.
What is the whole point of this whole drama that they created, man? It makes no sense. Now he's going to spend more.
Blame the league more than anybody
I'm
else.
blaming
PGMO
the league
and
only.
the
I'm
blame.
not-
That's all. Yeah.
I'm not blaming Man City.
Okay,
I
so
promise.
conference league done. Just to wrap it up once again. Chelsea is not champions of Europe. They are champions of Conference League.
They are champions of the teams play 73 to 108.
So,
Wait. I want to go back to what Shravan said the first time when we were talking about Chelsea, right? So they were playing against the team which have less population than
Their entire
the
squad.
number entire squad.
Hey, something like that, dude. That
Yeah,
whole
it is
city's
fair.
population was like some 3,000 or 4,000. Okay, I'm pretty sure they have that many kids in the academy. Dude, it's so sad, man.
Yeah. This going back to the Europa League, right? So there was not a very good representation of football itself between United and Spurs. I think is there a way both of them could lose? That would have been better. Luckily, we don't have that option. Sorry, unluckily, we don't have that option. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go suck myself into that United rant again because let's not even go there anymore.
you have more things, bro. They just wrap. Okay, they won a cup, by the way, in Hong Kong.
And they lost to some All Stars, some other
Asian
team called
All-Stars, yeah.
Malaysian
All
All Stars.
Asian All-Stars.
Yeah, but I think in the Europa League also, I think main factor is that the what do you call people who drop off from UCL not like getting into Europa League this year. I think that also kind of impacted. Like you would have had maybe someone like I don't know. Real Madrid come into Europa League because they lost out or something like that. But then, yeah, so this competition also like became a bit like diluted, right, this year.
I think the dilution happened more in the Europa League purely because even in the Champions League we have like 8 groups, 8 4s 32, and just like 4 small teams have made into the Champions League. But these 4 teams going away and then expanding more on the Europa League side of it, that just diluted it even worse. And then the Conference League, we don't even know, like the Mark Goldbridge says, some of the teams' names are Wi-Fi passwords. Nobody even knows, nobody even heard of them. It's like, hard to pronounce. So it's yeah. So I think Champions League was not diluted. This is probably one of the better Champions Leagues
Champions
in
League,
a long,
no.
long
I'm not
time.
saying
But
Champions League were diluted. I'm saying Europa League and Conference League were more diluted.
Yes,
Dude,
this
so
was very
the
diluted.
team that completed 24th in the Europa League, they won 2 games. Like they won 2 out of their 8 and still they went like 24th. So they had a shot at like playoffs,
Playoffs and-
etc. But anyway.
I mean, that's the case with even PSG, Man City, Real Madrid when they were getting through the playoffs anyway, right? So there was a time where all 3 of them were sitting down below 24th or something. Yeah.
I am going
Anyway.
over.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I want to take like 5 minutes to talk about United. Like, genuinely, where do United go from here? No lengthy rant, just genuine question. Where do you think United go from here? You
It's
wanna go,
going to
Avinash?
be what you call. I am rewatching as a Game of Thrones, so it's like winter is coming. It's going to be a long winter for United.
I don't even know why you're doing that, despite knowing it ends very bad. You're a brave man.
Yeah, I think for as Man U, it's things have been spoken like over and over again, but it doesn't look great because it's a massive reset. And when I say massive reset, I feel massive reset in terms of squad, massive reset in terms of players buying in, and massive reset, I think, most importantly in terms of fan base, which I think like this season the fan base has been like slightly better compared to the last season because they have been hammered down so much over this season.
Is this what needed to happen for Manchester United fans to get a reality check? That you need to
Exactly.
finish just above the relegation?
Exactly.
But like with Amarim in charge, like he's not going anywhere, right? Like again, you can't help it. Managers bring players that they think will fit into their system, right?
Yeah,
And
fair.
we've already seen Matheus Cunha decide to jump from 16th place in the league to 15th place in the league. That's a big upgrade for him. It was.
What's
But no,
wrong with that guy, man? Like, anyway,
I don't know. Maybe he just didn't get enough offers, or they just threw enough wages at him for him to say yes.
200 or something. Yeah.
But like genuinely, right? At what point do you say this is genuinely not working out with Amarim and it has to end?
So the crazy part for me is they are doing exactly what they did like last year with ETH. I think the board is still. I don't know if they're completely on like Amarim. Have they already told like Amarim is going to stay?
Yeah.
Is that like come out?
More or less.
Okay, then I think I'm maybe like mixing Tottenham with like Man U, but yeah, we can talk about Tottenham later. For me, I think Man U, it's a players, dude. Like you see that squad, right? It feels like they need 8 to 9 players that they need to bring in to play Amarim ball.
So do they need to bring in players more, or do they need to sell players more? Like what is more
both.
important for them? Like because for me in my head, I don't think the players there even realize what it means to play for United. I don't think they understand the weight of the badge, right? And I don't think they genuinely, half of them don't care, dude. Like, there's so many players there who just don't care about playing for them. It just makes no sense. Right, and now there is talk about Saudi buying Fernandes for
Bruno,
100 million. Yeah. So that can offset some of the money that they lose from the Champions League, but they also means that the one quality player that they have, they're losing.
The only quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
need to buy players to win. They need to sell players to make sure that they are financially not getting ruined. That's basically how it is. So they cannot win the one with, at least under Amarim, they're not going to win much with the existing set of squad. Although I believe they are massively underperforming for the squad they have, especially with Sancho and Rashford going back after their loan spells at Chelsea and Aston Villa respectively. Yeah, so what you said is right? So Casemiro was almost at the tail end of his career. They spent 50 to 60 million dollars on him, and they
And
gave
300
him
some 300K.
massive wages. Yes.
350k.
See, the reason behind a player coming to you and playing to you should be because I want to play for that team, not because, oh, this is going to be my nice retirement gig.
Yeah.
It should never be that. Like
Yeah.
players taking pay cuts, players taking, like, I don't care about the salary. I'm gonna be playing for this team. I want to play for this team. That's what you would want. People should put the badge or the wearing that kit ahead of, oh, okay, well, how much money am I gonna make?
Especially not at United. Like, no disrespect to some of the smaller clubs, but you would
Sure.
expect to see players do that with smaller clubs because they get one final paycheck. They're happy.
Exactly.
But with a club like United, when you see players coming there because you're giving them a paycheck, you've
It's
lost
a
the
very
battle
big red
already in
flag.
my head. Yeah.
Yep, very
Yeah.
big red flag. And they were, I don't think they have any sporting structure there, like, finding out
Yeah.
what player suit. Number one, it's one thing to not have an identity specific to your club. Not all teams have an identity associated with the club. It's mostly coming from the managers, right?
Yeah.
So even if you talk about Alex Ferguson, it's not like he had like, okay, one way of playing. No, so there's a good way of playing football. He made sure that happened, and he changed his tactic very flexibly. Things happened for them. But now is an era of like, okay, managers dictating that this is my style. Like, you take any manager at this point, whoever want to be successful, they want to come out and say that, hey, this is my style. This is how I want to play. Now you're getting lost into this weird set of the same loopholes. Okay, this manager wants this way of playing. We need to cater to his 100% needs, ignoring whether this is a good player or not. There are always star players who will fit into many systems. That I feel like they never even care. There are genuine gems who can just basically play in any position, whatever they want. Like even Bruno, it's like Bruno can play in under any manager, any decent manager who knows how to handle a midfield. Bruno can play there, but that's not what's happening here, right? Bruno is probably the only one who's doing a little bit okay, even under this horrible performance, whatever we have been seeing. But I don't see an end in sight until they change this and go back to the basics more than like, okay, this is how we want to play, this is what we want to play. No, screw all this stuff. Like, just focus on winning. What's going to give you some wins and make sure that you're stable? At least know that this is what you want to do.
I actually,
thing that-
sorry. Finish. I have a.
The thing
I have a
that I
thought.
have is like the club like Man U, right? I don't know if they are so ready to go through that and tell themselves, hey, we need 2 to 3 seasons. You have finished 16th.
Yeah.
The ideal way for you to like
Hey,
get back
15th.
is. Okay, 15. Sorry, my bad. I apologize, Man U fans. The ideal way is from 15 you go to top 10. From top 10 you go to top 7. From there you compete to top 4. This is a 2 to 3 season journey.
Yes.
Which I don't think so. United, the way that they are and the way that they see themselves, their fans, their pundits, their like alumni, whoever it is, they want immediate success. Hey, so Amarim, here is one transfer window, here is 200 or 250, 300 million. Get us to top 4. Because we are Manchester United. Fuck you, dude. Like, you need to understand the build. There is so much of build that, like, so what do you say in so technical terms, you say, right? Tech debt. There's so much of, like, player debt. There's so much of shit
Deadwood.
soccer debt that the club has amassed in, like, the past 4 to 5 years, right? That is why I feel this, like, pain is here to stay. Because they will make short-term decisions. I see like Matthew Cunha as like another short-term decision.
Yeah,
like,
it is,
why
yes.
would you buy someone for 62 million just because like he had like one season of like greatness or something like that? Right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
So I
As a-
actually think
as a Liverpool fan, it's awesome, but but as a neutral, not so much.
No,
But
but
I actually wanna
at some
build on
point you need to
this.
feel bad. Yeah, I feel
No,
bad.
no.
I genuinely feel bad. Yeah.
No, but I actually like what you said. The one thing that I want to add to what you said, right, is get grounded on where you are and use this as an excuse to promote your academy up. Like, this is the perfect time for you to have like another Ferguson's fledglings, a Busby Babes type of situation where you're just not overspending. You're committing to 4 or 5 years where you're like, boss, this is not going to work. We have to move up the ladder, and the only way I can do that is by getting my younger players in. Because one, they know what it is to play for the badge. Secondly, they will be appreciative of the chances that they are getting. Because otherwise, where are they going? Right? And the club can then decide, okay, I'll mix 1 or 2 good players with them, like some senior players to guide them. I think that's the way up for them.
100%.
Stop buying 100 times. Just sell all this crap like this Onana and this Matthews delete. Like Rashford also I'll keep because he's local to Manchester, right? I would keep Xerxes. I would get rid of Hoyland. I would get rid of Garnacho. Like all these useless buggers around, remove them. Get your academy in. Give them the time to play. Come 14th, come 13th. It's fine. But at least identify yourself as local Manchester and then build from that. I think that would be the way forward.
The same point there, bro. I don't think that club and that fan base and that like
He's
ownership
able to get to that point. Yeah.
can get grounded. Like sadly, I don't even think this like 15th place finish will like ground them. They'll be like, we finished 15th place, but we still went to European final, guys. Look at us, we are Man U. Fuck you, dude. Like anyway.
This is the saddest thing, right? Like now, I think this is the first time that this is happening, but they now have to pay Adidas 10 million for every year that they don't play Champions League football. Like
really?
What?
Yeah. It's part of their contract. If they miss out on Champions League football, they pay $10 million, £10 million to Adidas every year. I think this is the first time. This is the first time that a sponsor is getting money for sponsoring you. In this
Man U is a gift that keeps giving.
What
There's
is this,
nothing.
man?
But
Yeah, just
any final thoughts on Man U before we move on?
yeah. I like I said, dude. You need to sell. Forget buying. You need to sell. Give opportunities to your youth team. Get them to see the value of playing for that club. And then 1 or 2 players every window slowly gets you back to where you need to be.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 transfer windows to
Whatever, right? Yeah.
move our rate. Yeah.
You might get the next Paul Scholes. You might get the next David Beckham from your academy. But unless they're given the chance, difficult. You need more than one Kobe Mainu to come up, dude. That's all it is.
As a PL neutral, I'd rather see them up there and giving us some good games. But
Yeah, I do believe it's important for the league that they're up and challenging.
I don't believe that, but let's move on.
It is
Okay,
what it is.
Man U done, Europa League done. Should we talk about Tottenham or should we just?
Yeah, I have one question for you guys though.
Yeah.
Does winning the Europa League give Ange the leverage to stay in Spurs anymore? Or do
feel
they
so.
need to get rid of him?
no. I feel he should stay because at least I have a glimpse of what Ange can achieve with a uninjured, decent squad. Like he has been playing for the full season with the second 11, and I feel like they can bet on him. Despite the horrible season, they still managed to win a trophy. That should count towards something. I hope that the players come back and they stay fit. That's all. That's the only way you can keep Ange. And even if then he doesn't perform well, I think mid-season he'll be gone. Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Avinash?
Yeah, for me also, I feel Ange should stay. Like the reason I'm saying is like this is probably the moment Tottenham needed, and he's the one who brought it. And now, I mean, I don't know, like in the as a parade, etc. You could see he's at least able to now galvanize the team. Like he said what he said, and he so delivered on what he said. Right. That's probably like one angle of it, and the other angle of it is as well, man. Like I think if we say like Arsenal had an injury-ridden season, they did all of this, etc. Yes, no, I'm saying yes. So Tottenham had it even worse, right? Like they weren't playing with like 8 or like 9 players, etc. For the first half, etc. But I think the only downside that I feel for Ange is also very similar to Amarim, except for the Europa League final. He has never like changed his tactics or like thought of like adapting, even with this crazy injury-ridden squad that he had. I think modern football cannot sustain like that.
Yep.
Modern football, you have to have like in-game management. You need to like change things. You cannot say it is like my way or the highway. That's probably the only ding that I have on Ange. But in terms of like them having to go forward with it, I think yes, Ange is probably the right one.
Okay, my thoughts are really different, but it's fine.
No. But I hear they are shopping around, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Look, for me, right, like...
So this is the DTH scenario all over again, right? What confidence are you giving? Like, what?
No, but
what are you
so
doing?
for example, right, like I understand what you guys are saying that giving them their first trophy in 17 years is a big deal and it should be rewarded. Yes, give him a bonus, but kick him out. Just because he says mate and is likable doesn't mean he's a good manager. Honestly,
He's not likable to me anymore, but
okay. So, but here's the thing, right? No manager worth their salt should be losing 22 games a season. It's 38 game season, boss. You have lost 56% of your games. That makes no sense. Or maybe 64% of your games. Makes no sense to me. I understand you have injuries, but as a squad, you are still good enough to not lose 22 games a season. Spurs winning the Europa League is more a function of how shit United were than how good Tottenham were. Because even if you remember that game, their goals weren't spectacular.
Yeah, but then so that's not
That
how.
Brennan Johnson goal was
Yeah.
an absolute joke.
That's not how it will be remembered, right? It will
I
be
agree.
remembered for
I
somebody
agree
else.
with you. But even if I'm him, right, I'll walk out saying I'm the first manager in 18 years to win them something of note, or
He's-
43 years to win them a European trophy. I'd
He's
walk
here
out with
for
that.
season 3.
Apparently he gave some big dialogue. No, he's like, if you like season 2, season 3 is always better in a good show. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You're going to get
No
hammered
good
next
series
season.
has had a better season 3, bro. I don't think so.
Exactly. He's going to get hammered next season in this squad. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's not like he's going to attract anyone because he won the Europa League and he's playing in Champions League. No one of worth will ever join that club. So I don't know what
I
he's talking
think
about.
it'll be good enough at least if he got
Yes,
his
he'll beat
players
Aston
back.
Villa to players. He'll beat Aston Villa to players. That's for sure. He's not beating the likes of City, Liverpool, Arsenal to players anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is he talking about?
He wasn't going to do that even if he finished 5th or 6th. That
Correct.
was never an option.
So with this squad, he's not going to get okay. I mean, it's a small step to say you will be better than the previous season, dude. You finished 17th on another year where the relegation teams are not this bad. You would have been relegated.
That's fair.
You'd be the first
Yeah.
Europa League winners to get relegated. Like that would be one
Sure.
distinction you had. But so
That would have
if
been
you're saying
crazy.
an improvement on the 17th, then yes, I agree with you. If you're saying an improvement on a Europa League win, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. Going on a tangent, bro, like I'm just thinking about it right now. All of these teams, how bad have their striker recruitment been, bro? Like Tottenham, Man U, Liverpool, I will add obviously, and then you can have Chelsea as well. You're talking of like Hoyland, Solanke, who's that? Jackson and so
Nkunku.
Nunez. Oh my god. Anyway, I think this is
Hey,
probably
and all
good,
inflated transfer fees. Every one of them was above 50 million. Liverpool are winning like the transfer window like there's no tomorrow. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't want Avinash to complain
Hey,
about
no more
FSG for
FSG.
10 years.
Yeah, no more
For
FSG for
next
your
10
life.
years, I love FSG should be the first thing that's coming out of you every
You should
single
have-
pod.
Remove one of that San Francisco scarves and put FSG scarf
yeah,
back.
yeah. I'll put like
130 million,
there
2
is-
years. 2 years after Klopp said we are not City and Newcastle, we can't spend 100 million on a player. They go and throw 130 million 2 days after buying their right back, whatever his name is.
Frimpong, yeah.
Oh, a fucking Dutch team.
Yeah, I am okay to take in all this. Yeah. So we can probably start off with Liverpool, but as a fan, I am genuinely surprised myself about what is happening in this transfer window, right?
No,
think,
I want to hear 143 FSG. That's all.
not wait, bro. Let the pen go to paper, and then we will talk about all of this. Yes, if that happens, I will be like Donald Trump and acknowledge John Henry is a great businessman and go ahead with that. But I think show of intent is like insane. Doing it, especially after like winning PL so early in the transfer window. I am slightly on the edge that Wirtz deal is not like done yet, but then we are talking of like 130 million, which is
Yeah, it'll take
ridiculous.
time. It'll take
If
time.
There's There's no other person in the market anyway, so.
if Leverkusen say no to that, then I think we should probably like walk away. I don't think we should go crazy like 150 or anything. But anyway, that player to be associated is like insane, bro. Like back-to-back Bundesliga player of the season, it's insane. Yeah, so
But
Liverpool
who
is
does
doing
he
well.
replace in the squad now?
I don't think he replaces. I think he plays in. Oh yeah, I think maybe this is like then like.
Like
So
replacing
I see the
someone who will come
midfield.
out of- Yeah.
Yeah, I see it being Florian Wirtz, Mecca, and so Gravenberg, Soboslai, and so Jones to go like in and out. That is how I
I
would
mean,
say.
you need to rotate anyway. You'll have injuries.
Yeah.
You'll need to rotate, yes.
Yeah, and then he can also play a bit on the left wing, which is crazy.
Yep.
But this
He can
is-
play both wings. He can play both wings and number 10 behind the striker. Yeah.
Yeah, the right
Now,
thing
y'all have done one thing huge. Getting a player of his quality this early in the window will only give you more impetus for other positions you want to recruit. Now you have an upper hand saying, boss, you're going to play with players like Salah, you're going to play with players like
Wirtz.
Wirtz, you're going to play with
Yeah.
Van Dijk, Alisson. That is not a normal thing to say to a potential recruit, right? Like that's a flex not many clubs can get. So I think
Yeah,
kudos
I think-
to FSG.
the speed or the so what do you call the so timing has been insane, bro. I did not expect them to go over this so fast and like
Yeah.
with so much intent. That's insane. Should we talk about striker situation? I'm hearing everyone is available on the market, and every club is after every like every striker.
I know what will happen. Everyone else will get everyone else. Arsenal will be like, oh, we are interested. Oh, they showed. They'll change that interested word into like 4 or 5 things for Arsenal. It'll still be
Contact,
like,
interested,
yeah,
talks,
contacted, interested, in talks,
talks progress.
negotiating.
3 weeks,
Transfer
three weeks
window
ago,
ends.
3 weeks ago, it was like Gyökeres is like done to Arsenal. Now it's like
Now
Sesko
it's like
is
Sesko, it seems.
Sesko, and then
And then suddenly from nowhere, Julian Alvarez is coming. I'm like, what is happening? Like,
Julian
decide on one
Alvarez.
thing, no.
Julian Alvarez will be like 150 million now.
yeah. Why will like Atletico even sell Julian Alvarez anyway?
That's what
Who
I'm
are the
saying. No,
other-
other transfers?
you need to
They
pay
need
like
money.
crazy premium. Yeah.
Yeah, they need money. Plus, they'll buy, dude. They've always bought big strikers, so they're okay losing out good strikers for us.
We are okay to do a Darwin Nunez swap deal if they're ready for it.
I said good strikers, dude.
That's also fair.
But I am full now. There's this new news that's come off. Okay, where apparently our preferred centre forward for the start of next season is still Kai Havertz. I'm like, what is this? Like, what you went all around the world to come back and say Kai Havertz is my preferred striker.
Dude, if Arsenal end up transfer window with Kai
A
Havertz
striker.
as a striker,
That'll
by
be the best thing, right?
January we should be Arteta out.
Hey, I only will go personally. I'll
It
go
cannot
personally
happen.
see what I can do about that club.
No, are we still saying that it is Arteta who's blocking this striker
I don't
transfer?
think so, dude. I don't
Yeah.
think so, man. Like I
Then
just
who else, bro? Because they have shown intent to sign, right?
intent is there. Like I said, lot of different words are being thrown around for absolutely nothing. I
Yeah.
won't be surprised. So this whole Benjamin Sesko thing, I still don't understand what they're trying to do. Like, why is he a more preferred striker than Gyökeres? And why isn't Gyökeres attracting interest from other clubs in the world?
Yeah, that's also fair, to be honest. I can't because I think he has a release clause, right? 60
Yeah,
million
60
on
million.
that.
For
Dude,
someone
that
who's
should
got
be a
43
slam
goals
dunk
this
buy,
season.
right?
Exactly. But why only for these two clubs? Why is only Manchester United because of Amorim and the Arsenal interested? Why aren't other clubs?
Why is Manchester United still buying somebody else? What the hell
Because,
is going
Inter-
on?
No. Because
Don't go
Inter
back to
Milan-
Man U. We have done talking
No.
about Man U.
So apparently Inter Milan want Højlund. And
Okay.
okay,
I
because
think-
Inter want Højlund, this guy needs to get a striker that he knows fits in his system, and Gyökeres was thriving under him. So
Fair enough.
Amorim player time. That's all.
Why would Gyökeres do it to himself, bro? Like anyway, that's
Money, dude. Money. Baghdad used to play for Coventry, man. Man United is a
No,
very
but,
big step up for him.
but at the same time, playing under the manager who you have thrived,
Yeah,
like
it's a
under
very
it should
big
be
deal.
should be a good it's
Yeah.
a good way to think about it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I would advise against any good player or potentially star player going to Manchester United because that's a black hole. Yeah, that's a black hole of
Shravan-
talent. Yeah.
Shravan, what according to you is a good transfer window for Arsenal?
Dude, we need 3 players. We need 4. Sadly, we need 4. We need a left wing because this Martinelli should start learning fucking Arabic and go.
And who for Martinelli?
I can say names, dude, but
Luis
we can't
Diaz.
No,
Hey.
keep him. It's fine. It's fine.
Bro,
Honestly,
he's Premier League champion, bro. Show
I'd
some
like to
respect.
be no problem. Hey, Van de Ven is European champion. Go ahead. I don't want any of this.
I would
Solanke
happily
is
have
European
Van de
champion.
Ven. I would happily have Van de Ven as my CB any day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, that was a bad example. But yeah, Solanke is a European champion. Richarlison is European champion.
Timo Werner.
Timo Werner somehow he finds himself there. But anyway, so we need a left winger. So I would honestly, if possible, get either Semenyo from Bournemouth.
Yes.
Eberiche Eze is another good player. I would want. Eze is doing really well at Crystal Palace. I don't know why we wouldn't go there.
Premier League teams should stop taking players from other Premier Leagues because the transfer fees are inflated as
Yeah,
fuck.
fine, dude. I'm just saying my
There's
list.
no reason to. The Semenyo should not cost you like some 80 to 100 million. That's what they're going to ask you.
52 or 55 or something.
Trust me,
somewhere.
if you're doing any transfer deals within the Premier League, they unnecessarily charge you way
That's
too
fine.
much.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm just saying my wish list. I don't know who we'll get. I don't want to see Rafael Leao. I don't really think he's that great that we need to go spend 80 million on him.
Rodrigo, Real Madrid.
That's
possible,
the
that's
ideal
another 80
transfer.
million.
Yes.
My worry is if you spend 80 million on left wing, you're not going to keep a lot of money for your striker, and then
No, I'm sure Rodrigo does not cost you 80 million. So because Real Madrid want to get rid of him,
I agree.
there's a good
he might
good
come
deal
for
there.
50, 60 million. If we
Yes.
get him, nothing like it.
Yep.
But anyway,
It's
so
good.
Left wing.
I'm obviously eliminating the big ones like Williams and what's his name, Rafael
Nico
Leao and
Williams, Rafael.
Nico
Okay.
Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that. But if I had to choose, I'd choose Eberechi for me. Like he's
Fair
proven
enough.
Premier
Very
League
good.
quality, he's amazing, worth it, right? We need a striker that I think every dog knows right now. I honestly don't care who it is. Get someone with 2 legs. I just don't care. Just get someone.
Someone with striker in his CV. That's
Yeah,
it.
CV and he has 2 legs.
Kai Havertz
Get someone.
has.
So does Merino. Anyway, we do need a centre back. Unfortunately, how much ever I hate saying this, we do need a centre back.
Yeah.
What?
Because we do need a centre back.
They only
Can't play Jakub Kivior every time. Can't keep stepping up for him like that. Now the problem is Tomiyasu.
Wait, you had
partially
like the
injured.
least amount of injuries within centre backs, and you have like 2 left backs who can actually probably
That's
still
what I
fill in the
don't
gap.
want. That's what I don't want. I don't want these multi-special. I want a specialist player, dude. We need one solid backup.
That is
for-
Gabriel and Saliba.
Yes, but I can't keep playing them week in week out. No, they keep getting injured like this.
When,
Saliba got
this is the first time I've seen Gabriel getting injured.
Yes, but last season we lost Saliba. This season we lost Gabriel at an inopportune time. So I don't want that. We need one good backup. We've been lucky with Kivior because he's stepped up really well, but we can't keep relying on him. So we do need one. And we need a second goalkeeper. We don't have anyone right now. So we need someone.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also reading about so MLS possibly doing a Trent Alexander-Arnold by
Apparently when I was
running his
running
contract down
contract
because he has his contract up and then apparently negotiations are not going well. So
I
he
heard that
he
too.
could do a Trent and just like run his contract down and go to Real Madrid, which I don't see is
all means
it's
go.
not outside of the realm of possibilities.
Real Madrid?
Yeah. They also want a left back apparently in a few years.
Yeah, they want everybody, bro. The Real Madrid needs
That's the
full
thing.
4. And yes.
Yeah, I know. But
Desperately
yeah,
need it.
this is who I think we should get. But I'll be very happy if you just if you end the winter just getting one striker and one left winger. We need left wing more than striker. Put Martinelli in the center. He actually has a good conversion rate.
Interesting.
Cool. Why
Nice.
can't we do that?
Yeah.
Pusha, I don't think for Barcelona you need anything else, right? You have signed Lamine Yamal
You signed
for
Lamine
life.
Yamal. He can play all 11 positions. He can win
Yeah.
more Ballon d'Ors than everyone else.
Rafinha has also signed. Everyone is
Yeah,
signed,
done.
and all the kids are signed. So that's it.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, all the kids are. They
They
already
are
renewed
set for
that.
the next 10 years.
Yes. No, we
And you
definitely
have
need-
academy which will keep producing more and more. Hey, I need one
You
center
need
back.
a-
Yeah. 2 months, sir. 2 months. Give me. We will mold one center back and we'll get it for you.
You do
What
need
the
a
fuck is an
goalkeeper.
academy, man?
You do need a goalkeeper.
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are probably almost at the the finish line for a good goalkeeper. Espanyol goalkeeper Joan Garcia. I think it's there, pretty much almost done deal.
We were behind him last season, and then Espanyol said no push off. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, he's very, very good, bro. So
Yeah,
he's
he's amazing.
excellent in front between the stakes, and his save rates are like second to none. Very good at reading the game as well. Yeah.
The criminal behavior of going from Espanyol to Barcelona. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
That dude was actually a Barcelona fan when he was a kid and all that stuff. It's okay as long as he
Right
has.
now, how all this news will come, right? Right when they are about to take the transfer. Oh, by the way, when I was 2 years old, I was a fan of this club.
It's like Hendrik saying he saw Bobby Charlton.
Internet never forgets. Never forgets. Yes, but I think we definitely need one goalkeeper, good goalkeeper for sure. I hope Ter Stegen leaves potentially.
I thought he was staying.
He will say that he'll stay, but I think I don't think he's going to get any time ahead of Tech because Tech has already renewed. He's probably going to renew, and Iñaki Peña will leave for sure. I hope that it's just going to be Joan Garcia as number 1 and Chesney as number 2. I do not want Ter Stegen staying here for long because his wages are crazy high and his performances are very, very bad. I'd rather him off the team. We also definitely need a fullback. The reason behind our Champions League getting ruined was purely because we did not have a good left back, and our only good left back was injured. And Gerard Martin, he tried his best, but he's not definitely Champions League semi-final, final level anyway. But yeah, we definitely need, if not starting a backup left back, either you find from academy or somewhere else. Just make sure that we have at least some kind of a lieutenant for left back. I don't see anybody coming in for striker at this point because Lewandowski is still firing goals and he's almost there with the Pichichi things. It's very surprising. But I think this is the last season he's going to play. So we should look. I hope every team that needs a striker go after this Gyökeres, Šeško, and leave Isak out so he can run down his contract and
nice.
sign for Barcelona like in a couple of years. That's all I want. Just
4D
do-
chess.
Mind scheming. 5D chess he's playing.
One thing I have for Barcelona is your sporting director Deco, man. Can he stop naming players when he's giving interview? Like he'll say, yeah, so we want Diaz. Yeah, so we want this guy.
Good
yeah, we
though.
want that guy.
Good though, because
Why
he's inflating the
naming
market.
players?
I'll tell you
he's
what.
inflating the price.
I'll tell you what. So all the good things that happen to Barca right now are coming from Alemany, who is basically in Aston Villa right now. All the Lewandowski, Rafinha, Kunde, Christensen, Inigo Martinez, all of them came from this one sporting director. And this idiot Deco comes in, he buys in Joao Cancelo, Joao Felix. All the transfers he wanted to happen or have happened, they've all been failures. Yes,
Portuguese boys.
I do not like this stuff, and I don't think he keeps giving all kinds of weird statements saying that we want somebody who is going to play for all managers. We want somebody to play for Barcelona, not for Hansi Flick only, because we want that particular long-term thinking. So whatever, you don't say this and then go say that, okay, we're going to buy Luis Diaz for like $85 million or something like that. No, just stop with this bullshit. And then before, everybody knew that we need a very solid goalkeeper, and because Chesney is kind of old and he's in this retirement mode, like at any point of time he feels like, hey, I think I've had enough, I'm just going to go back. At that point, you can't have Mats just keeping you for for the rest of the season. Everybody knew that, and in this beginning of the season, no, we don't want a goalkeeper, we don't want anything. We are good with these two, and then suddenly we are through to John Garcia, $25 million release clause and everything. So he dude is flip-flopping all over the place. But I trust Laporta more than before at this point because he's doing pretty good, and I trust Hansi Flick's judgment. If he does actually want Luis Diaz, I hope it comes for a cheaper price rather than $85 million. But if he does see that and Hansi Flick wants it, I'm 100% convinced that he knows what he's doing because he has earned that every step of the way, all the way till the season. He's like, he would put Gerard Martin, he would put Eric Garcia in right back position whenever he wanted, and they still did the job for the most part, especially Eric Garcia. Gerard Martin not so much, but yeah.
So
I love
only
passion.
goalkeeper and done, man. Okay.
Hey, that
Goalkeeper and a potential left wing. Yeah.
Yeah, you need Martinelli for a left wing. You definitely need a.
Take Diaz, bro. We both are competing. Take our player, take our player, take our player.
Dude, a Brazilian left wing potential. You've seen what has happened in the past. Playing for Barcelona. It's a good omen, dude. Take him.
I have a weird feeling we're going to get hold of Leao because AC Milan definitely needs to sell a bunch of players from them because they are in a very bad situation. And I don't think Hansi Flick likes Leao so much. That's the only reason it's on hold because Laporta and Deco, they are obsessed with getting this guy.
Portuguese.
And however the way they see it, they just feel like Leao is like our next big star we should be investing in. That's pretty much it. So that's what's going to happen at this point, I guess. But yeah, hold off on all this nonsense deals. Save your money for the big striker in a couple of seasons or just next season itself. Splash 150 million on Isak if need be, because that's going to be your long-term purchase, like at least for
Just
the
buy
next
Martinelli.